The hot hatch had a hard time in the early 90s with car crime pushing insurance premiums through the roof. But there has been a strong resurgence recently with cars such as the Renault Clio 172 and Seat's Ibiza Cupra. The hot hatch is back. It's here to stay and it's meaner than ever. So it seems strange that VW, the company behind the hot hatch revolution and the company that moulded the small car performance market as we know it today, should launch a diesel variant of their much-loved GTi. Now, when the Golf was launched 20 years ago, other manufacturers desperately tried to capture the magic and put it into their own pocket rockets. The question is, can this GTi pretender live up to the family name? Now, the Passat TDI isn't going to get unwanted attention from your local scallies. No, it is more likely to get admiring glances from your dad and the local company rep. I'm not saying that this car is bad, I'm just saying it's a little bit dull. But since its recent facelift, it can take on the likes of the Mondeo and the Laguna. So the big question is, which of these VWs is going to give you better value for your money? Now, in the Passat, the fit and finish is first class and the driving position excellent. We've got electric windows, central locking and climate control as standard, and a must for any long distance driver, ceiling mounted sunglass holder. Now, there's enough space in here to sit 5 people comfortably, with room left over in the boot for anything you might want to put in there. Now, when the Golf was launched, it was supposed to have mass market appeal, which it did have, but somewhere along the way, VW forgot that philosophy because at a tad under £17,000, this car is now encroaching on BMW 3 Series territory. But VW still insist on marketing it against the likes of the Ford Focus and the Vauxhall Astra. So this Golf has got twice as many competitors as all of its rivals, which can outdo the Golf on most things, including the price. Inside, it's very Germanic. The seats are comfortable, but they're sporty and hip-hugging. The dash is very well laid out, uncluttered and certainly not gaudy. And the finish, well, it's exactly what you'd expect from VW. But my favourite bit are the blue lights that illuminate the dials when it gets dark. This is a great, if somewhat noisy car to travel smoothly and sedately round town in. But put your foot down and it'll respond quite eagerly. Get it out onto the country roads, work your way through the notchy 6-speed gearbox and you're going to be having a lot of fun. Under normal circumstances, the words performance and diesel don't inspire images of blast-down country lanes. But if you're buying a car with a GTi badge, you're going to be expecting impressive performance. Now, what I'm about to say might embarrass those of you who've got petrol versions of the 2-litre GTi. With a 0 to 60 time of 10.3 seconds, it pips the 2-litre by 0.02 of a second and matches the top speed of 121 miles an hour. In terms of performance, the Passat can't live with the Golf. But then again, why should it? After all, the car is aimed at a completely different customer. You don't buy a Passat for throwing around country lanes. No, you buy it for long drives up and down the motorway with your carpet swatches in the boot. But just for the record, the Passat has 15 brake horsepower less than the Golf. which equates to a 0 to 60 time of 12.4 seconds. So it's never going to have you on the edge of your seat, although it will have you costed in comfort. In a straight line, the Passat is a very refined car to travel in. It's really solid and it's got a good punch of power through the mid-range, but very much like the Golf, when you get to the corners, it really is quite wallowy, and I feel that this lets down the ride really quite drastically. So, which of the cars would you choose if you had £17,000 to spare? Well, they're both highly accomplished in their own right. I mean, if you want the hot hatch performance with the diesel fuel economy, then the GT TDI is definitely worth a look at. But if you're going to go up and down the motorway all day and you want more status than the Mondeo or the Laguna could ever afford you, then the Passat's the car for you. But which one am I going to pick? Well, it has to be the Golf. I mean, it is the legendary hot hatch. It looks fantastic, fabulous finish inside and out, and it's faster than Passat. And it's cheap to run. It might be a tad expensive at just under £17,000, but it's a VW, and I reckon you get what you pay for.